What's up, everybody? I'm trying to get us on YouTube. Okay, come on. Boy, let's count down.
Trying to get us on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm trying to get so I can see the comments.
So you can see the
What's
comments.
going on, everybody? We are back. I'm excited to listen today. Well, we're going to get to you in a minute.
Yes.
This is vetted. We're on A2D Radio. I'm Irving Fryar. Big Dog Hollis Thomas over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
people,
and subscribe to. Like and subscribe to. And I'm here to tell you about Royal Billiards right off the rip. Royal Billiards has been in business for 42 years, and they actually celebrated 42 years. Last year they were celebrating 41 years of business. They were established in 1982, they've been celebrating being the ultimate place for your man cave and game room desires. Things such as pool tables, shuffleboards, bars, and kitchen stools. I can't forget the thrones. I'm gonna continue to get the thrones until I get myself one. Bars and tables, and let's not forget about the tender hot tubs.
Hot
Yes,
tub.
yes.
James Brown.
And,
hot tub.
yes, and also they have the big video games like when we were kids, and we used to go and blow $5, $5 worth of quarters in there. They have those, and this place is located at 515 Bethlehem Pike in Comore, Pennsylvania, 18915, or go to royalbilliards.com. That's royalbilliards.com, or 515 Bethlehem Pike, Comore, Pennsylvania, 18915. Say what's up to Marty for me. And take him some treats because I know he's probably hungry because he misses the big dog. And tell him you heard it here on A2D Radio from the tank.
Yeah, Marty hadn't seen us in a long time. Listen, Big Dog, before I get into my read, you're doing something a little bit different. You got something going on a little bit different. Is that your mic hanging from the side right there from your? It's making a lot. It's making a lot of noise.
It's making a lot of noise today.
Yeah, because you're moving and it's hitting you. I guess it's hitting you.
It's hitting my shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you're trying something new. That's cool. Trying something new. Yeah, you want to be sleek and sexy and all. You know, people don't even know you have a mic going on there, but it's making a lot of noise. So I don't know if you can hold it still or try not to.
Is it still making noise?
Not right now, no.
Okay, there you go.
You're good.
I'm good.
You're good. You fixed it. And guess what? Carlino's, they can fix your appetite. Yeah. Carlino's, County Line Road, Ardmore. 41 years in business. Started with Mama Carlino and her husband, Nicola, in 1983. Carlino's is in a third generation of leadership. Yes, they are. Carlino's has expanded their brand to include food and wine food and wine importing business. Yes, they are. They are sourcing and importing high quality Italian products. Yes. Told you wine, foods, pastas, sauces. Yeah, all of the Italian market called Carlino's, many of which are not even in the United States yet. You got to get there. They are awesome. They treat you like you are somebody, and you are somebody. So that's why you should go to Carlino's and get some of this food and wine and all the products that they have that are so delicious. Yes, they are. Ask for Pat. Ask for Angela. Carlino's, County Line Road, Ardmore, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Today, listen, Big Dog.
What's today's? Before you get all over the 7 foot,
I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to take off, huh?
I know, but what is the agree to disagree question of the day? I just want to know. What it is.
Throw it up there, Ralph. Do you want to read it? Can you see it, Big Dog?
I can see it. It says Jalen Hurts will be an MVP candidate next season. I think Rob in our comments, he said something that's prevalent to this. I think with his talent, he will be in the MVP talk pretty much every year. His arm is, I think, and he's right. His arm will determine that. Basically the way he uses it, the way he uses it, or lack thereof, and then also what I think will determine is his decision making ability. Because you spoke about that last week about the keys to victory, especially during Super Bowl time. Now that I got that off my chest. I'm gonna give you. Oh, you want some? I was gonna give you the floor because I know you seething at the ends to talk about Joel Embiid.
Well, wait a minute. Since we're talking about Jalen Hurts and him possibly, or is he going to be an MVP candidate next year? Obviously, I think that depends a lot on what these coaches can do. They hired a new offensive coordinator, which we'll talk about a little bit later,
Right.
Kellen Moore. He's a guy that's got a prolific type offense. It's not that run pass offense, run RPO type offense that Jalen is used to running. So there's going to be somewhat of an adjustment on Jalen's part because Kellen Moore is not going to just come in and do an RPO type offense. He's going to mix in, I believe, the stretching type offense where they throw the ball downfield. He does have an answer. Kellen Moore does. He does have an answer for the blitz. So we will have blitz adjustments next year.
Please,
yeah.
Well, not only that, if you look at we fare kind of better when Jalen's coming from under the center.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't let the team prepare for a RPO type of thing.
Well, here's the thing that happened 2 years ago, season before this, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and could have possibly won the Super Bowl, very easily could have won the Super Bowl. That year, Jalen played very well. The offense, put up big numbers. Defense put up big numbers, set records with sacks and all. The team was outstanding. With RPOs, when Jalen is under the center, you don't necessarily need motion because the defense, they can't really figure out who's going to get the ball until the person has the ball. But then this year, we didn't run the RPOs, or the Eagles didn't run the RPOs like they did.
Brian Johnson didn't.
Okay, Brian Johnson didn't call RPOs like it was called the year before.
Like Shane Steichen, who's a successful offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so now you have to do something to try to confuse or at least put a pause on the defense, and that's motion and whatnot. Yeah. You got to do some motion. If you're not going to do the RPOs, you got to have some kind of motion to create some kind of thought process on the defensive player side. We were the least team we were the team that ran the least motion in the league this year, and it was just plain. You could see it at the end of the season. It was plain. It was vanilla, and they were just stifled at the end of the season.
Well, you got to run. You got to put on a little bit of a show and give the defensive bells and whistles. They can't just line up and know exactly what you're doing based on what you do. And I think that was the part where I was telling you last week when I talked to some of the players one-on-one. The one thing that they were saying was that that the offense was getting stale. Everybody knew what they were doing.
Right.
The defense was saying the same things, and then you saw that in their body language and the way they played. Like when me and you talk about when they come out the huddle, when the offense came out the huddle, it's like, here we go again.
Here we go again. Yeah, they know this. They know this play is not going to work. Yeah, it's hard to play like that. When you break the huddle, you've made a call in the huddle. You break the huddle and you come up to the line of scrimmage and you see what the defensive lineup is, how they're structured, what they possibly can do, and you know in your mind that this play is not going to work, but yet you still have to run the play. That's tough to do. Yeah. That's tough to do. So
the other tough part too is like if you listen closely, you hear the opposing team calling it out.
Right,
that's the worst.
It's a run. He's gonna run right. And when they guess right, you're like, what in the heck? How did they know that? Because you're just playing. Your playing is vanilla. And there's no motion. There's no, you don't have, the defense doesn't have to put any thought into what's getting ready to happen. They know and they can anticipate it and step up and make the play. For me to say that Jalen Hurts will be in the MVP talk next year, I'm going to pause on that because it really depends on what Kellen Moore is able to do, and particularly the quarterbacks coach that they've hired, Doug, I guess Nussmeier is how you say his name. He was with Kellen Moore in Dallas, huh?
I was saying Nussmeier.
I
was saying Nussmeier. Nussmeier sounds so Nucious.
Nussmeier. Anyway, we'll figure out how to say his name. But he's got 20 seasons of coaching quarterbacks. What's his first name? Whether it's college, first name is Doug.
Yeah, we call it Doug.
Doug. Okay, Doug. Yeah. He's got 20 years experience coaching quarterbacks, whether it's been in college or whether it's been in the pros. He replaces Alex Tanney, who just started coaching in 2021, who was a quarterbacks coach here in Philadelphia. So,
wasn't he a quarterback too? Like not too long ago?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Jalen needs. We know this from the year before when Steichen was here. We know that Johnson was his quarterback coach, but he needs a coach. He needs a quarterback coach that can help him make decisions, talk to him on the sidelines, keep him focused, help him to see things or anticipate things that may happen as the game continues. So hopefully he's got experience. So hopefully this guy, Doug, can come in and do some good things for Jalen. Jalen needs this right now. He really does.
I think most of all, I think he's got to teach him when to take advantage of what they're giving you, because it's like I don't think, and then I don't think we had enough routes taking advantage of what they was giving us, everything underneath.
Right.
And we rarely had any real routes that ran underneath.
Side adjustments.
Side adjustments. So we was going, or we was going for broke. And then I felt like he waited too late to hit the check down. He waited till they sloughed out far enough to where they had spread out far enough to where when you threw the check down, he wasn't going to get nothing anyway. If you throw the check down where they're trying to slough off, it's hard to start running forward after you've been running backwards. So
right. But common sense, and you know this. I think anybody who is a football fan who has followed, particularly the NFL or even college, you follow football for any significant period of time, you know that you can't just come into the game throwing the ball downfield. You have first, you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. That sets up your play action. Even if you're not having success running the ball, run the ball. So the defense thinks, or at least has to think that, okay, we got to stop the run. We got to tackle this guy. Run the ball. Run the ball. That the running game has to be a part of your offensive plan to set up your passing game. Then you do your play action. Then you do your shorter passes, and then you take your chances down the field. You don't just come out throwing the ball down the field. That doesn't work, particularly in today's game. Boy, I heard something. It was funny too. I heard something the other day. Jason Kelce. Did you hear what Jason Kelce said?
What Kelce say?
What he said about defensive back corners. You heard what he said? You didn't hear it?
No.
Jason Kelce, and he had to say it. Somebody like you or I couldn't say it. We can reference him now, and we can say it. But Jason Kelce said, I guess he was out the Pro Bowl when he said it. He said, you know what? The cornerback position is so hard to play that they don't let white guys play it.
Well, he said that on the show.
He did. He said,
him and his brother said, he said it's a rarity to see a white guy playing corner.
Listen, the last white guy I saw playing corner was Jason Sehorn. I ran him out, and I ran him out of the league.
He totally sucked.
Yeah, I ran him out. He was good for a minute, but I ran him out.
And you remember Adam Archuleta, who they don't. It's like you'll see him at linebacker. You see some tremendous linebackers, but and you see some decent safeties, but you don't really see
not at corner.
Not at corner, but Blankenship is a heat-seeking missile. But
Blankenship ain't a corner either. Yeah, Blankenship ain't covering nobody.
Yeah, no, he ain't covering nobody. and speaking of covering somebody, you have to cover this.
I got to cover this read. Yes, sir. I got to read right now. Hats.com is the premier destination for quality and fashion-forward hats and more. Yes, with designs for every style and trend. Locally based and run by Philly sports team fanatics. I don't know what they're doing right now. This is kind of in between, the Phillies haven't started yet. The Eagles are finished right now. So they're fanatics, but they're hanging in there like the rest of us. Hats.com can help you elevate your hat, John. Utilize the easy-to-use guides at hats.com to find your perfect size and your perfect style. Shipping and returns are free. I'll say it again. If you buy a hat that you don't like or doesn't fit, not quite what you wanted or what you thought, or what it looked like on the internet, then go ahead and send it back. Shipping and returns are free. Hats.com. Find yourself in a hat. Use code Philly for 15% off your order. Hats.com. Awesome. Boy, I get better. I'm getting good. Awesome. So yeah, I want to talk for a minute if we can.
Go ahead. I'm gonna set you up like this. Okay, so my man's in them is the Sixers.
Your man's in them? Who's them? Who's man's in them?
Joel Embiid. And it's like he can't get out of his own way right now. He's got the injury bug. What do you have to say about his injury history?
Well, I don't necessarily have something to say about his injury other than the fact that this is a broken record that we keep hearing and it keeps repeating every year. Even last year when he won the MVP, he was still hurt and hobbled and wobbling around. He had a hitch in his giddy up at the latter part of the season. Now he's had a surgery. Okay. And he's supposed to come back. Everybody's, touting him and applauding him for the fact that he had the surgery, because that means that he's trying to come back and not throwing the season away. And he's supposed to come back in 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, however long it is.
Evaluated in 4 weeks.
Yeah,
see
but
if it's feasible.
Listen,
yeah.
Here's what I want to say about Joel Embiid, and y'all can make a clip of this. You can make a highlight of this.
That bad, huh?
It's that bad. Joel Embiid, not that he's a bad player. He's a good player. He can do things as a big man that we haven't seen a big man ever do in the history of the NFL. That's cool. But the cat is not going to stay healthy. And because he doesn't stay healthy, and because he is your number one player, you can't build a team around him. He's not going to be there at the end of the season and elevate and ascend at the end of the season enough to get a team to the championship. He's not your guy. Listen, Sixers, you need to get rid of him and start over again, because everybody keeps talking about, okay, it's going to happen with Joel. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you want to know what somebody's going to do in the future, look at how they've operated in the past. Since Joel Embiid has been with this team, he has always had injury problems, particularly when it gets towards the middle and the latter part of the season, and he's no good in the postseason. That's why do people think that it's going to change? It's not going to change. He's not going to come back and become this Superman that's going to take the Sixers to through the playoffs into a championship and win the championship. You're not going to win, Sixers, a championship with Joel Embiid. Not because he's not a great player, but he can't stay healthy. He just cannot stay healthy.
What's the best ability?
What's the what?
Best ability is availability.
Availability. You got to be on the floor. Yeah. And him not being on the floor, it puts the Sixers in a bad position. Yeah. Stop. Listen, all you Sixers fans, all you sports experts, basketball experts, he ain't the one. Joel Embiid ain't the one. Not because he doesn't have the skills. Right. He's got the skills. He's got the talent. But the cat, I don't know if it's anatomically the way he's built, he can't stay healthy. He won't stay healthy. He hasn't been healthy, and he's not going to get healthy. Not enough to ascend at the end of the season like you need to win a championship.
Ah, man.
I'm sorry, but that's
the harshest I've ever heard it put. And I've come to grips with that, because
that's the truth. It's the truth.
I think sometimes we think that it's like, oh man, as soon as we get somebody good, but we saw this writing on the wall when we got him. He was hurt the first 2 seasons as he was here, and it was like you was hoping that he would grow out of it. But it never happened for him.
No, he can't. You watch him sometimes when he's healthy. And when he falls he can't even fall right, man. Every time he falls, I cringe because he can't fall right.
Well, you cringe because he's been hurt so much that you're like, oh damn, here we go.
Right,
again.
But he falls so awkwardly sometimes. Just the simple things like making a layup and falling after a layup. He falls so awkwardly. It's like, oh my God, is he hurt again now? Because everybody's waiting for him to get hurt. Why? Because he continually gets hurt and he continually stays hurt. Yes, and particularly, he comes in the beginning of the season, starts off doing well. And last year, hats off to him. He played enough, well enough, consistent enough, long enough to win the MVP last year. But here's my interpretation of that last year. Yeah. He didn't do that because he was trying to win a championship. He played that way because he was trying to win the MVP, because he got slighted the year before.
Right. And then on top of that, it was like my brother said this too. He's like, once he won an MVP, he's just like, was like, well, I'm done. I'm done. It's like, and the season was over for him.
Right.
So
that's right. And he stopped. He stopped playing. He had won his MVP because that's what it was about for him last year. It was about him winning the MVP, not the team winning the championship. So I'm done. I was going to go to some Sixers games and stuff, man. I ain't going over there.
I'm going. I'm still going.
I ain't going.
I'm going still. Going.
You want me to go with you? You want me to go with you?
Bob normally takes me, so I can't just be inviting people. It's like he asked me if I'll take you if he say I can bring somebody.
Okay, ask him if you can bring somebody. I'll go with you.
Okay.
I'll go to one game with you.
Okay. Because we sit up there in the plush area.
Yeah, that's fine. But what good team do they play this year?
They play everybody.
In Philly.
They play everybody in Philly.
They play?
I have to look at the schedule.
Okay, all right.
I look at the schedule because I know I went to the game where he scored.
Boston, when they play Boston, or they play Lakers or somebody like that.
Okay, because I went to the game where he scored the 70. It was the best. That was a bad dude. It was like everything that you shooting up was going in. It was pretty awesome too.
I'm not wearing no Sixers gear.
The Victor. See the Victor kid, the first overall pick.
Yeah,
he is the truth. He's
the truth. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but
I'm not wearing no Sixers gear though, man. I'm not wearing no Sixers gear. I'm not.
Fine. I have on enough Sixers gear for both of us.
I'll go to the Phillies game and wear some Phillies gear, but I ain't wearing no Sixers gear.
Well, you're not wearing no Phillies gear today. Put together a quality championship style team.
No. I wear Phillies gear. I'm good. I'm a Phillies fan.
Okay.
I started following the Phillies last year, and they're getting ready to tee it up, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going down to.
Training camp.
Spring camp.
Training camp.
Yeah, March. I'm heading down there. Yes, I'm heading down in March with our people Philly sports trips.
Cool.
With my peoples, yeah. So
cool.
Now we can get back to a little football now.
I need to get with some Philly sports trips, man. Start hanging out with y'all. Y'all do things right. So listen, I got a phone call the other day, and I must have been the only one that didn't know what was going on. Apparently, that's what the person who called me said. Do you know what's going on? You know what's happening? I'm like, no, what's happening? Well, the Eagles, the commissioner just announced that the Eagles' first game is going to be in Brazil. I'm like, I didn't know that. I was busy doing some work.
It is how long is the flight over to Brazil?
I was just listening to somebody talk the other day. I don't know, but I heard something like 11 hours, 10 hours. Is that true?
I don't know. I went to London and stuff, and I made that flight, but they saying that this one is like a little further. So
really? Wow.
Yeah, it's like
10, 11 hours then, right?
Well, I'm not. I was like, I don't know. Somebody, if anybody that's listening, could you tell us how long that flight is?
Yeah, anybody who's watching right now, have you ever been to Brazil? And if you did go to Brazil, why did you come back?
Somebody out of smoothie said asked Freddie Mitchell. He's been there a couple of times.
That's what Craig said. That's Craig. It's not Craig. That's Vinny Capriati. It's Vinny Capriati. Yeah. Ask Freddie Mitchell. Yeah. I've heard
12 and a half hours.
12 and a half hours. I've heard that, and I've never been to 13 hours. Jay said 13 hours. Oh my God.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's my boy Jay. Damn, Jay.
I'm not so sure I want to go. I want to, that's 13 hours there and 13 hours back. Man, that's a whole freaking day.
That's a day and an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah. That's a whole freaking day. I don't even know if I want to go. Listen.
I don't know. It sounds illustrious, but I'm subject to have a watch party here in Philly. But
listen, I heard
my guys are already on the ground.
12-hour flight. Nicole says a 12-hour flight to Brazil. She ought to know. Anywhere between 12 and 17 hours, depending on where you. What?
Oh, God.
Linda, have you ever been to Brazil before, Linda? My God, 12 to 7. How is there 5 hours difference? Come on now, Brazil ain't that big.
It's South America though. You could be landing in where we going, or you could be landing in the Everglades or some. Landing in Salvador. Oh, it's 17 hours. Good God, man.
What? Salvador, 17 hours. Listen, I've heard, I don't know, I've never been to Brazil before, but I've heard that it's really nice when it comes to American. The ladies are really nice, and then they like the American men, and it's really, they show appreciation.
I've heard that too. I've heard that let's say somebody out of smoothie, Vinny Capriati said 9 hours from Philadelphia to Brazil. what the hell you for? What the hell kind of jet you on, Vinny?
Everybody else is saying 12 or 17 hours. He's talking about 9 hours. So well, look, we know it's going to at least be 9 hours.
Yeah,
10 hours.
At least 9, 10 hours. Yeah,
I heard somebody saying it was like 11 hours.
But yeah, it's like, but I think they talk about the time that it takes to truly get there. It's going to be a whole day.
Right. So let me ask you: are you going?
It's up in the air right now, man. I was my first initial thought was hell no, because all I can remember was Big Poppy bit down there chilling at a local place, and he pow, he got shot.
Oh no!
You know, yeah,
in Brazil,
he was in South America somewhere.
Well, okay, South America is big.
Yeah, he got shot,
but South America is huge.
He's Big Poppy.
Okay, but South America is huge. He could have been in some place he didn't have any business being in.
He's from there too, so.
Well, all the more reason he was probably could have been something that we don't know about. Listen, we got another another commercial. Yeah, yes, we got a video coming up, y'all. We'll come right back to you. Hit it, Ralph.
In our family, food is our daily bond. My nonna, affectionately called Mama by many, found solace and joy in the kitchen, sharing her love through delicious creations. She turned her culinary passion into a flourishing business alongside her husband and sons in 1983. Celebrating 40 years is a testament to our exceptional team, friends, family, and beloved customers. With gratitude, we look forward to the future, expanding our brand to share the highest quality Italian food and wine nationwide. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has played a part in our story. Grazie mille.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom-reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
All right, we are back here at Vetted A2D Radio. What'd you say, Big Dog?
My bad. So Greg said that it was in his home country of Dominican Republic. Oh, okay. Well, I knew it was somewhere down there.
Listen, I'm going because my wife wants to go. I really don't. I really don't care. I really don't. I'm like, I could care less.
Grazie mille. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. So we're going. So I don't know if you're going or not, Big Dog.
I'm more than likely. I'm gonna decide to go, or whether I'm gonna go over the next. I think the link should have a watch party and let us
tailgate at the when they have
the
Brazilian football game. Yeah, you know what, Linda, they probably will do something like that. They have done something like that in the past, so they probably will do something like that.
Yeah,
so
Tank Dog will be in full effect. I'll be on the jumbotron.
Well, my wife wants to go. My wife wants to go because that's
that means you're going.
Oh, I'm going. Yeah.
Don't act like it was you're going. My wife wants to go, so I guess I'll go. No,
listen,
you're going.
I give my wife, my job is to love my wife and to give her what she wants. That's my job.
Okay.
That's what that's what I do. And
yes, you do.
And that is our anniversary weekend. So
cool.
It works out well. She said that's where she wants to go. I'm like, okay, we'll go. So we're gonna go. We're not gonna go to the game though, because by the time we do what we do and hobble around and this place and that place,
all that damn traveling and all those excursions everybody wants to go on.
Yeah, we ain't going to the game. We never go to the game. Yep.
Take you some bug repellent, and you buy you a makeshift machete when you get there, so just in case some type of snake jump on you. I'm actually gonna start talking to them now about setting up a tailgate and stuff over at the link. I just thought about that. That crap. I ain't going over there and get ate by no alligator.
Well, listen, like I'm gonna take a gummy before I go. So I'm gonna take a gummy before I go, so I won't even care.
Yeah, it's gonna wear off. You know, when danger comes around, that gummy's gonna wear off like a son of a bus.
I'll take another one then.
There ain't enough gummies in the world to stop.
Ain't enough gummies in the world. Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, listen. I was gonna ask you. Go ahead.
You know, it's like I've been looking at a lot. They've been trying their damnedest to come up with stories and storylines and stuff. And the 49ers have been sticking their foot in their mouth. They're still talking about the Eagles and stuff. And you saw the one cat talk about, oh, it's a rivalry, but the games have to be close.
It was Debo. That was Debo.
But we kicked your ass last year to go to the Super Bowl. What do you mean it got to be close? Get the hell out of here. That crap.
You know that's the kind of stuff that happens, particularly this week. Because last week, you know, the AFC and NFC championship games were won, so they had a chance to talk about that last week. But there's kind of like a dead week in that second week or that week off before the Super Bowl. You know, guys, you know, people are just looking for stuff, and
they even called my man's Patrick Mahomes' dad got a DUI. They just print that all over.
I saw that, man.
I was like, but okay, so he played Major League Baseball for 10 or 12 seasons. He's got enough money to get himself out of jail. I was thinking Patrick, he stayed out of trouble for that long, and then I was like, it's not Patrick. Patrick didn't get a DUI. Okay, his dad made bail, $10,000 bail. He paid his bail. What are you shooting at? Yeah.
Well, you know, there's always something. I mean, even when I was playing the Super Bowl, I had a distraction. You know, wife and I got into an argument, and you know, my finger ended up getting cut. You remember that? You don't know about that?
I didn't know about that.
I missed the AFC. That was yeah, and I end up missing the NFC.
I was 11.
Okay, well, I ended up missing the AFC Championship game against Miami. I played in the Super Bowl. But there's always distractions for whatever reason, one thing or something else that happens. And the media sometimes, based on, I think, who they want to win or who they don't want to win, and they'll press those kinds of things to cause distractions. Because that could be a distraction. I mean, that's his dad, and he cares about his dad.
But look at the. This is another thing that they made a big to do about. They started talking about the surface in which the 49ers are practicing on.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you play where they put you at, and you learn to adapt. You get out your shoes and stuff, and you go out there a little early and see which ones work the best. I was like, quit moaning about the surfaces. It's like realize the other team has to play on this surface as well.
Right.
So you try to get the best footing possible. I don't know why everybody's bitching. It's like somebody's always got something to bitch about.
Well, listen, big dog, the athletes today weren't brought up like we were. They didn't experience what they experienced is different than the experiences that we had. You know, I would be elated. I would be appreciative and be happy for the simple fact that guess what? I'm getting ready to play in a Super Bowl.
We got a question from Devo82. What is the funniest memories Hollis and Irving have of playing in the Super Bowl?
Mine, I don't have a funny one. Did you play in the Super Bowl?
Really? You don't remember? I was on it when the 2014.
Okay, that's right.
The funniest memory was
with Don. You were on that with Donovan, right?
Yeah. I got
and T.O. I was down. Yeah. I was down in New Orleans covering that game.
See, it was Jacksonville.
Was it Jacksonville? Okay, I was okay. Jacksonville. I was working with Channel 6 at the time, covering that game. So, what's your funniest memory of the Super Bowl? Mine's not funny, but go ahead.
Mine is a little funny. They're gonna feed us all a ball ass spread of fine meats and cheeses and shit all through the week, and then gonna try to roll out the scale for weigh-in at the end of the week. We was like, every fat guy was like, shit.
Why did they? Who did that? The coaches did that?
Yeah, we had that when the Mike Wolf tried to break it out. I was like, you tell them we said go fudge yourself, because we had the Bible meetings with us. I was like, they're not gonna believe that they said go fuck yourself, but you tell them that all of us collectively said go fudge yourself, go fornicate yourself is what we said.
Go fornicate yourself.
The other funniest part too is like we were on the like right before the game. Everybody. I think it was kind of funny, but it was I felt like it was cool. It was a cool moment too, because all the guys who had been on the team like all season long who had never played in the Super Bowl, he allowed everybody to warm up.
Okay.
To go out there and warm up and just see what it's like to warm up for a Super Bowl. So
right.
it was kind of funny that they got all sauced up for the warm up. When I say sauced up, it's like it's a ritual. We take like cans of whoop ass and Redline and as a bunch of vitamin B12. And so now you all hopped up on the sideline for nothing.
B12s and ammonia caps.
But yeah, the ammonia caps. Yeah, those for the scene to wake up. What's up,
sir.
Old Dog? My boy, Old Dog, Juice Demand. What's happening, man? But the other part, only other thing was and this was, I think everybody saw this too when they looked at the Super Bowl that we were in. When they panned the camera up to Bill Belichick, and they said, "Oh, are we ahead? Because we was behind by like 10 points." And we were just like, we were moving the ball and getting downfield, but he had to ask his assistant coach, "Hey, are we ahead?" Because the way that they're moving like that. He was moving like we was ahead. And I looked at you and I was like, "Hey, man, what the hell are they doing?" And so that was kind of a funny moment, but I think
being methodical. Being methodical.
Yes, but the funniest moment I think everybody remembers is when I went in for my close up, because that's in part of the highlight. When I got my close up, when I was standing up there waiting for them to do the flyover, and I leaned in, I gave them the people's eyebrow.
That you got a people's eyebrow too.
Yeah,
you're good at that. Well, my. And this is what I remember most about the Super Bowl, other than the fact that I think we didn't approach the game like it was just another game. You've heard that before. The bigger the game, the more you need to stay in your routine, the more you need to operate and carry yourself as though it's just another game. Though it's a bigger game, it's a playoff game, it's a Super Bowl. You got to stay in your routine and do what you normally do. And not make too much out of it, not put too much into it in terms of thinking, because that'll throw you off. And I think that's one of the things we did, because our whole week routine changed. Our coach, we had curfew every day, and it was really, really, we had a lot of time to sit and think about the game. And I think we really got overly excited and overly cautious. And
y'all couldn't get too excited. They right off the rip, they was in y'all like a pair of tight draws.
They were, but we made a lot of mistakes which were uncharacteristic of us. Fumbling the ball, throwing interceptions, dropping interceptions. We didn't do that kind of stuff. We played sound football. We did, and we made a lot of mistakes in that game. If you go back and watch it, that we normally didn't make, particularly in the run that we had during the playoffs. So I remember we were behind. We're getting
fast.
Yeah, we were behind bad. Matter of fact, at that point, that loss in the Super Bowl was the worst Super Bowl loss in the history of the NFL. There have been some worse than that, but we had set a record in that loss. I'm sitting on the bench, and Craig James, who was one of our running backs, he came, and he was a starting running back. He came
part of the Pony Express.
Him and
Eric Dickerson.
SMU. He came and sat down next to me. We had just come off the field after obviously a non-successful offensive attempt, and we sat down. We're getting beat pretty bad, and Craig James, and he and I had worked out together during the off season. I lived in Texas during the time, and he and I worked out together during the off season. So I was kind of close to him. Okay. And he sat down next to me, and that's why he sat down next to me, because we were close. And he said to me, he looked at me and said, "Man, all I want to do is go home to my wife. I just want to go home to my wife." I looked at him like,
"Is that bad?
I'm like,
was that bad?"
No, I'm looking like you quit. What get out of here. What do you mean? I couldn't believe I was pissed. I couldn't, and I wasn't saved at the time, so I was cussing. And I started cussing and fussing. I'm like, what's wrong with you? What do you mean you want to go home to your wife? We got a game we got to finish, man. Go out here and fight. What's wrong with you? I went to Raymond Berry, the head coach at that point, and I told him, I said, "Take him out. I'm not playing with him anymore." He quit. We're getting our behinds beat. Yeah, the score is what it is, but we still got to fight.
We
can't
fight.
just give up.
Don't roll over.
Yeah, we don't roll over and just put our butt up in the air.
Now, one of my esteemed, we were talking about something last week about being traded. One of my esteemed colleagues gave me a question to pose to you, but it was after the fact. Ian out of my buddy out of Scotland, he's like, didn't you lobby for like 5 or 6 years to get traded to the Miami Dolphins?
Oh yes, yes. and it was a one-on-one lobby.
Mm-hmm.
My
so you
coaches,
Don Shula, huh?
Yes, after every game, and we played the Dolphins twice a year, AFC East. We played the Dolphins twice a year. After about my 5th year, maybe 4th year in New England, I wanted to leave. 1, because I just wanted to get out of there. Number 2, I didn't realize that when I got out of New England, my football career as a receiver would take off because they really just didn't utilize my talent as a receiver. I was a blocker and I played tight end sometimes, and we didn't throw the ball. We didn't have very good concepts when it came to passing the ball. And I did that for 9 years. But starting about my 4th or 5th year in the NFL with the Patriots, after every game against the Miami Dolphins, I would walk up to Don Shula in the middle of the field after the game, shake his hand, say, "How you doing, coach? You got to get me out of here." he would laugh just like that. "Coach, you got to get me out of here." I would say that to him all the time. And then when what was his name? I forget what his name came in when they made the coaching change and Raymond Berry was gone.
Was it Bill Parcells?
Bill Parcells, yes, thank you. I can never remember his name. He came in and he made a statement to the press that anybody who didn't want to be here, we're gonna let you go. We don't want anybody who doesn't want to be here. So the next morning I was in his office talking to him saying, "Listen, I want out. I don't want to be here." And he said to me, "If we can get a 1st round pick and something else for you, we'll let you go." First phone call my agent made was to Miami. And they made the deal. Now, had I known Dallas was trying to get me at the time, I would have went to Dallas. Unfortunately, I would have went to Dallas. Y'all be hating me because it would have been Irving and Irving.
Man.
And we'd have been setting it off over there. Yeah. It would have been Irving and Irving. Yep. And we'd have been setting it off. But
get the hats.com video is coming up right about now, Ralph.
Hats.com is the premier destination for quality and fashion-forward hats and more, with designs for every style and trend. Locally based and run by Philly sports team fanatics, Hats.com can help you elevate your hat John. Utilize the easy-to-use guides at Hats.com to find your perfect size and style, and shipping and returns are free. Hats.com. Find yourself in a hat. Use code Philly for 15% off your order. Hats.com. All right. We're back in the house. Man, we've talked the whole time, didn't we? It's quarter till. So, listen, let's talk a little bit about, because we haven't up to this point, then we're going to throw it to you and let you give your history this week.
Okay.
Let's talk about our predictions. We haven't really talked about what the main focus is in the NFL right now, and that's the Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. I think we gave our predictions a little bit or slightly last week, but we didn't really give any real insight. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that the one of the caveats is Patrick Mahomes, and then the other one too is the way Steve Spagnuolo has been able to put opposing offenses on notice. How he's been able to mix pressures. He pressures the 3rd most in the NFL currently. Right. But you said it last week. They had one of the best cornerback tandems in the NFL.
Yep.
And those guys play man well, and they work in succession extremely well. And he's like all I see is like Jim Johnson. I see Jim Johnson. The things that he learned from Jim. Like I see it all over the field. And once you get the guys believing the way they believe and knowing that they can shut people down, I don't know if the 49ers are going to get 21. But I think the Chiefs are going to kind of kick them around a little bit, because this is one of the things where I think the 49ers are going to come out and believing that, like they had them last time, they think they can get them again. I was like, but you don't have the same team as you did last time. You was on top of them. I was like, but this is going to be an interesting game. I personally think, I'm talking in circles a little bit, but I feel like the Chiefs they're a little bit better. They're a little bit better than them, and I think one of the X factors also is Pacheco. Because I think Mike Shanahan doesn't use CMC the way he's supposed to be, and it's going to rear its ugly head because he's going to count on Purdy to do too much. And because when they were winning, they were kicking people around. You only counted on Purdy like 20, 25 times a game, and the rest of the time you was running the ball and putting people on notice. If he doesn't use that formula, if they force Purdy to beat them, then it's gonna be a long day for the 49ers.
Right.
So I'm thinking that, and then I think that Patrick Mahomes feels like he's got something to prove. It's like, because if you look at the other part too, and I didn't mention this, I was looking at the MVP candidates. He's not one of them.
Ooh. And I mean, I know they were 11-6 this year. Was 11-6?
But he can't. But a lot of times, and you said this last week, he runs when he needs to.
Right.
He was keeping drives going.
Right.
He's moving around, but then he would get the first down to keep the chains rolling, to keep the offense on the field, to matriculate down the field, whether to get a touchdown or a field goal, but to get something out of the drive. And I feel like that's going to be his motivator, is because he's not mentioned in that MVP. He won last year, and he's not mentioned in it this year. And everybody's talking about it's a regular season. No, it's a full season award.
Right.
The full season award.
Right.
No damn regular season. The regular season award, get the hell out of here. That's
because they don't announce it until everything's over.
Yeah, they announce it after everything's over.
Right.
It's like, so it's the fact that they're pumping up that everybody's coming to the rescue of Brock Purdy. Everybody's coming to the rescue of him. They're pumping him up, and I was like, okay. I was like, I can see this right now, because I think that if I'm the defense of the Chiefs, I'm like, yeah, you about to get in that ass like a pair of tight ones. And I can almost guarantee you that Trent Williams is going to do something stupid to get kicked out of this game.
Williams, yeah.
He's always doing something stupid.
Right,
he got 15 yards in one of the playoff games because he was walking on the field, and you push the opposing team that's walking off the field. You push the special team, but you can't do that. And then it's televised. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
And he always doing something stupid. He got ejected from the game when he was he was with the Redskins. And for hidden whatchamacallit, I think he pushed somebody all late and stuff, and it was just a whole thing, man.
Like I said when I was talking about Embiid, if you want to know what somebody's going to do in the future, just look at what they've done in the past.
Exactly, can't get right.
He's a problem.
Can't get right. Yeah.
So just I agree with what you're saying. Yes, the 49ers are going to be the most diverse team that the Kansas City Chiefs will have faced this year. You got McCaffrey, and you got Debo, and you've got a plethora of people that can Purdy, and I can't think of the receiver's name now, but the receiver, whatever his name is, I can't think of his name.
Debo Samuels?
No, not Debo. I mentioned Debo.
Talking about Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, Ayuk. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
But also Jennings.
And Jennings, yes. Yeah. So it's the most diverse team that they'll face. But man, when I look, I studied today a little bit, and like you said, McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed, those shutdown corners. This defense for the Chiefs is the youngest defense in the league. They're the youngest by age. When you look at and they created this stat based on players that have played at least one game or more this season. And they are the youngest, which is scary for next year, because they're the youngest defense in the league. And they believe in Spagnuolo. They believe in him. They call him a father figure, and they believe in what he's doing. And Spagnuolo, he's just a genius when it comes to putting pressure on the quarterbacks. They got a multiplicity of blitzes, overload blitzes, and double edge blitzes, and double.
But what you don't see sometimes, and it's not going to show up, is some of those blitzes are not blitzes. They're zone pressure.
Right, they're pressures.
They're pressures. But it's only 4 people coming. You just don't know which 4 people.
Exactly.
And that's what I was like. That's what we have the ability to do. We just, until we got Vic Fangio, we haven't been able to do it. And so it's just what you're saying too. But they believe so much in what he's coaching and what he's preaching. That's why they've been able. If you're looking for an MVP, their defense has been the MVP for them this entire season.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. They have carried this team when the offense sputtered at points or at times during the regular season, and they played extremely well. It's like one of the best. They're one of the best defenses in the league right now. What?
I'm saying, what's up, Tom?
Oh, Tom. You point to Tom. Is that
what's up,
Tom?
Yeah.
So when I look at this, I look at Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I look at Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan. What up, Chuck? Yeah. And I got to go with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I have to. Because even last year when Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl against the Eagles, he doesn't even have to play a good game or great game, I should say, in order to win. He only threw for like 190 yards last year versus the Eagles.
But it was just like he's a beast. He's
and this defense for the Chiefs is the best defense they've had statistically since their so-called dynasty run.
Yeah.
So this defense for them, and again, it's the youngest defense in the league right now.
Yeah.
So
he's about to play in his fourth Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's the youngest ever played in the fourth Super Bowl. 28 years.
Yeah. So
28 years old. So
I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I got to go with the Chiefs. It's hard. I bet against Patrick. I mean, look at where they come from, and they were in the wild card week. Played Miami, beat Miami in Miami. Went to Buffalo. Beat Buffalo in Buffalo. Yeah. Went to the Ravens in Baltimore and beat. Come on, man, beat Baltimore in Baltimore.
I thought Baltimore was going to throttle them.
I did too.
It's like one of the things where it seems like he's on the mission, and the other part that I mentioned about the not putting him with not mentioning him in the MVP is just fueling his fire.
Right. So you can't. And now they've had a week off. Now they've had a week off to rejuvenate.
Instead of talking about Brock Purdy. Yep.
Yeah. So and let me say this, and we'll get on to Hollis, your history.
Gotcha.
But they remove, for me, in my opinion, they remove all the excuses that the Eagles had in terms of their lapse or their downfall in the latter part of the season, talking about getting tired and getting worn out, stuff like that. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs, they played through the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, they played the same amount of games.
And they played this year, same amount of games. They had a first place schedule as well, because they won the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
They had a first place schedule as well. Yep. And they played through the wild card. They played the extra game, that wild card game, and they beat the Dolphins and the Bills and the Eagles don't get a pass for that, for falling apart like that because they got tired. Come on, man, for real? No, stop it. Stop it. So my question, again, I have question marks about the Eagles next year. I don't know what the problem was, why they fell apart like they did. Only they know, for real.
Yeah, we'll fix it.
We'll never know. Hopefully they'll fix it. Hopefully they'll fix it before we go to Brazil.
Yeah. Long trip.
They probably won't, because they ain't gonna practice. They don't practice, man.
I think that's gonna change a little bit.
You think that's gonna change?
Yeah. Let me get to this.
Yeah, go ahead. We got history with Hollis, y'all. Best part of the show.
Appreciate you, sir. This day in history with Hollis Thomas is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips, and one of the underlying people of one of the understudies of Philly Sports Trips is Philly True Fans Travel. You go to truefanstravel.com and you can go down to Vegas for the Super Bowl and watch. They're having a watch party and a tailgate in Vegas, and also Philly Sports Shirts, where you can get my damn Skippy shirts and vetted apparel. Oh yeah, and a bunch of damn Skippy stuff too. And the Maximize My Sexy shirt. Today is February the 7th, 2024. It's the 38th day of the year. There's only 328 of these puppies remaining.
The year's going to be over before you know it, man. We're already 30-some days into the new year. That's crazy.
Who knew? We're going to start off with some national holidays. Today is Fettuccine Alfredo Day.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Alfredo, yes. It's also Patty Melt Day. Oh, yes.
Is that
It's
burgers?
actually
Is that
yeah,
beef?
the burgers are patty melts. Yeah. It's also National Signing Day for high school students. Signing their national letter of intent.
Of
Shout
intent,
out to shout out to my buddy Jason's son, who he just signed his thing to go to. I want to say Malvern College or something like that.
Okay.
It's like he just signed, and today is also Rose Day and send a friend a card day. We're gonna start back in
Big dog, I'm not sending you a card.
I don't want you to send me a card. I'm
Okay,
good
that's
with
cool.
that. We're going to start back in 1817 when Baltimore becomes the very first American city lit by gas street lamps, with the first turned on Market and Lemon Street, which is currently Baltimore and Holiday Street.
Wow.
Yes.
Baltimore was the first city to do that?
Yeah, to put basically have street lights
with the lamps, yeah.
It's like in 1839, Henry Clay is Senator Henry Clay declares, "I'd rather be right than to be the president."
Wow.
President grants Private Secretary Orville in 1876. He was acquitted of being the head of a whiskey ring.
Well, it'd be all right today.
Yes,
back then it was
prohibition.
Yes.
In 1936, Felix the Cat, the animated film, was released by Van Buren. Van Buren Studios. It was licensed from Otto Messemer. 1940, Walt Disney's second feature-length movie. What was
it? Wizard of Oz.
Pinocchio, man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The Walt Disney.
I don't know.
1949, Joe DiMaggio becomes the first $100,000 a year baseball players for the Yankees.
How much?
$100,000 a year.
Wow.
In 1949.
Wow.
1958, Dodgers officially become the Los Angeles Dodgers because there was the Brooklyn Dodgers for so long.
Mm-hmm.
1969, This Is Tom Jones debuted on ABC TV. In 1970,
is that the singer Tom Jones?
Yeah, it's not unusual
to be loved by anyone. Not unusual. Yeah.
1970, we have LSU's Pistol Pete Maravich. He scores 69 points, but it was a losing effort. In 1974, the movie Blazing Saddle premieres at the Pickwick Drive-In.
Is that the one they were farting around the campfire? They eat those beans and farting around the campfire.
Yes, in Burbank, it was at the drive-in movie theater. The significance of the premiere was everybody watched the movie instead of from their cars from horseback.
Wow.
Yes.
Blazing Saddles. Amazing.
Yes, Blazing Saddle. Toronto center Daryl Sittler. He set an NHL record scoring 10 points in one game. He had 6 goals and 4 assists. As the Maple Leafs beat the Boston Bruins, that's right, 11-4. The Boston Bruins came here and kicked our ass. That's why I put that in there. In 2013, the United States, state of Mississippi officially certifies the 13th Amendment. Do you know what that was? The abolishment of slavery. They ratified in 2013.
Right. Yeah, I was going. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually certified it in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
It was ratified in 1995. Man, they slow down there.
Will Smith did a special on the 13th Amendment.
Okay.
Yeah, he did a special. He did a movie on the 13th Amendment.
I got some birthdays real quick. 1804, John Deere. Everybody rides a John Deere. Whether it's the tractor or the golf cart. Charles Dickens, 1812. 1867, Laura Ingalls Wilder. You know what's significant about her?
No.
She's the author of The Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, okay. I know about The Little House on the Prairie.
Laura Ingalls Wilder. Interesting.
Okay.
1953, you know who Robert Brazil is?
Robert Brazil? Is he going to be in Brazil when we go there?
No, he's Dr. Doom from the Houston Oilers.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah, he was a linebacker that played for the Houston Oilers. Okay. 1960, James Spader. 1962, Garth Brooks. 1965, Chris Julius Rock.
Chris Rock.
Yeah, 1973, Tim Bowens. I know you know Tim.
Mm-hmm.
1973, also Juwan Howard. 1974, Steve Nash. 1970, also Wes Borland. You know who Wes Borland is?
No.
Limp Bizkit.
Who? Limp Biscuit.
Yeah.
Why did you mention him then? If you go to Limp Biscuit, why did you mention him? He doesn't need to be mentioned then.
It's Wes Borland. That's the singer Limp Bizkit, the other group, Limp Bizkit.
Oh, Limp Biscuit, the group.
Yeah.
I thought she meant he's a Limp Biscuit.
No. 1978, Arthur Kusher, and 1988, Matthew Stafford. That's what I have for you. This Day in History of Hollis Thomas is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Remember to go to phillysportstrips.com or go to truefanstravel.com for our tailgate and all other types of baller ass trips.
Baller A trips.
Yep.
So listen, everybody. That was, we appreciate it. We always do. History with Hollis.
Yeah.
And that's our show for today. But just want to make a special announcement to you, those of you who follow us. Two things are going to happen in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be live at some point. We don't know what time, but just keep your ears and your eyes open. We're going to be live because Hollis and I are heading out. It's going to be a long night tonight. I got to pack, man. I got another podcast to do after this. Then I got to pack. So we're heading out to Vegas tomorrow. Hollis and I both will be in Vegas tomorrow. We're going to be at the Super Bowl, or in the Super Bowl location, I should say. And we're going to do a live show from somewhere on Saturday.
Yes.
Sometime Saturday, this Saturday, we're going to come on quick and we're going to do a live show, maybe 35, 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, give you guys an update of what's going on in Vegas.
Yeah, we're going to do something from Vegas. We'll probably have some other kind of player on, somebody, some celebrity or something like that will be on us real quick. We're just going to have fun. But we want you to be looking for it. Keep your eyes open, your ears open. Hopefully we'll be able to post something and let you know when it's going to happen. But we are going to come on live this Saturday in Vegas. That's number one. Number two is when we come back from Vegas next Thursday. I know we came on today at Wednesday. We're normally on Thursdays. We came on today at Wednesday because we're leaving tomorrow, Thursday, and we couldn't do the show from up in the air. Starting next week on Thursdays, the time for our show is going to move. We will no longer come on live at 5 p.m., but we will be live starting at 8 a.m. All right. So you'll see Vetted here on A2D Radio starting next Thursday at 8 p.m. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See that? 8 p.m. Not 5 p.m. anymore. 8 p.m. We won't be on at 8 p.m. Well, we might be. I don't know. It's 3 hours earlier. We might be on a Saturday at 8 p.m. I don't know what it's going to be. But starting next week, Vetted on A2D Radio, starting next Thursday, will be on at 8 p.m. All right. So mark your calendars. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notifications button. That way you'll get notified. If you miss us at 5 and you don't remember, you'll get notified at 8. That's where our show will be from now on Thursdays. All right.
Damn, Skippy.
You got something to say, big dog? You want to say something?
Just thank everybody for coming out. God bless and good night.
Yes, sir. Irving Fryar, Hollis Thomas, right here on A2D Radio. This is Vetted. See y'all on Saturday from Vegas.
Damn.